Hello, this is High Priestess Key 333 coming to do your Gibbous waxing energy reading or messages, right? So I know we have been in the Gibbous waxing for a minute. I know how I missed the crescent waning, where that was before the Gibbous in the first quarter. I think I might have did the one before that. Not sure, but I know I missed one. I might have not missed that one. I don't know, but the gibbous waxing. So coming in to do that one, okay? I try to do all the moon phases because that's what we do over here on High Priestess Key. We do readings that give out messages to the collective in a full in reference of the moon phases, okay? Right now we're in the gibbous waxing. We're moving into the full moon. We're at 90% of the gibbous waxing. So it's actually moving into that 10th, which is going to be a full moon, true sidereal in Sagittarius. Okay. That true moon in Sagittarius is about having mercy on our souls, right? Asking the ancestors for mercy, right? Sag energy takes us back to let me go back to it because I'll be forgetting. I'll be forgetting because I'll be trying to remember so much, family. But Sagittarius energy takes us back to the law of correspondence. Okay. The law of correspondence is what the energy we will be in, which is all about mercy and understanding. It's about our external things happening externally to us. Okay. We'll get into that with the full moon reading that I'm going to do. But for right now, I do want to talk about the gibbous waxing. Now, with the gibbous waxing energy that we are in right now, it is in Scorpio moon energy with the gibbous waxing. And we know that the gibbous waxing energy that is here takes us back to transformation, right? Because that's what the full moon is going to bring in: transformation, release, reflection, all of the re's, right? Reflection, reaction, reassessment, whatever you need to reassess, okay? Reflect, okay? Release, all these things, right? Um, that's what this energy is gaining up to, right? So it's an expansion, okay, of that energy. Right now with the gibbous waxing, this is a time for you to have courage and to have confidence in yourself that you can reach and move into whatever it is that you want to conquer, right? Or whatever you want to release, or whatever it is you're trying to reassess. Like my shirt says, turn off the negativity and move into the things that the message this morning for the morning message over on the big channel was about discernment in change. So there is a lot of changes that are happening within the collective at this time, especially with the planetary alignment. Okay. Right now, the planetary alignment, and I'm going to talk about that more on the full moon video. But it's definitely a lot of different things happening, and it's not all great either. But if you're functioning to serve your highest good and vibrating as high as you can, then these things will bounce up off of you. Okay. It may be some things that may not feel great, but you'll be able to sustain easier than those that are in low vibrational states. Okay. Right now, we'll see a lot of things happening around marriages, fertility, family abundance, but a lot of change, a lot of transformation. Okay. Right now is a good time for you to understand that is a good time to maybe find a job, right? Putting in a job applications, doing things of that sort. If you're trying to find one, now is a good time to have encouragement and use the wisdom that you may have received and retrieved over the years of maybe even being on your spiritual walk or so forth, right? But the crystals that you need to be utilizing during this time, if you're working with gibbous waxing energy, which I like to work with gibbous waxing because the ancestors actually, if you tap in with your ancestors, they can tell you when and what's the best peak for you to use. It's not always about the full moon and the new moon, as I always tell you. It's great to work with that energy. Those are like the highest, right? And they have the duality within them as well, with all phases of the moon, the good and the bad. You can use that energy for. But it doesn't state that you can't use the other phases of the moon. A lot of people don't talk about them, but those actually, they're to be utilized for certain energies too. Okay. So, right, and that's why I do these readings, because the energy changes. Okay, energy moves like currency. You know, the ebbs and the flows, the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, right? But it's about balance. That's the key to life. All right, the unk. Okay, the key of life. Okay, the loop. Okay, but also life. Okay. So work with your crystals, your smoky quartz, your amosite. Use those crystals, pyrites, epidite. These are crystals that can heighten the energy right now for the gibbous waxing. Okay. Also utilize your rosemary. I have my rosemary incense that I'll be utilizing. Here's my rosemary incense. I will be burning some of those. Matter of fact, let me burn one now, right? And so we burn these during this time to amplify the energy. Okay. You can utilize that rosemary or the actual herb, which I do have as well. But you can utilize these things and it will amplify your spiritual work. It can rosemary is very good in reference of protection. It's really good in reference of cleansing your energy. Many, many, many benefits to rosemary, right? So this is the energy, right? So this is what you should be utilizing. Also, vetiver is a good one to use at this time, and deal. Okay. Um, all right, so I put my incense on. Let's get to the message with the cards and see what the ancestors want us to know, okay? You guys know I don't use tarot over here. I use my cards, my ancestor cards that have been created with the ancestors, all right? Let's get into the message and see what the ancestors want us to know with this gibbous waxing. That's this moon energy right now, ancestors, is in Scorpio. The perpetual transmutation of energy. So what is it that we need to put with this gibbous waxing energy, ancestors, right now? And what is it the collective needs to know in reference of this gibbous waxing energy? What is the message that you want the collective to know with this gibbous waxing energy, ancestors? Ashe. Yeah, okay. So we have this is I love this energy, right? So with this gibbous waxing, there is still energy here. And today is 7-7. So 7-7 takes us back down to yeah. Okay, so 7-7 takes us back down to 14, which is Callisto energy. That's in that 7-7 is Phobos energy. So that's what we're giving off for today, which takes us to a lot of Capricorn Leo energy, right? Which Mars is in Leo, right? But the energy that the ancestors is kicking out for us to know about is a lot of Chiron, right? So we have two elements of Chiron that is here, which Chiron right now is in Aries, okay? Fiery element, but also about the wounded healer, right? About taking care of those wounds that need to be healed, because there is some aspect of Mars energy here, right? So that Mars element is about foreign things. Right now, we know in this gibbous waxing, things are heightening about foreign elements of things, foreign places, people, and things that maybe some type of pain and suffering that happens that comes with this Chiron energy. And also it could be about some type of new creation or new beginning, okay, of some type of situation, okay. Also, this gives us that there's going to be, because this is about Scorpio energy, and Scorpio energy once again goes back to a lot of deception, but not only that, the transmutation of energy, okay. So we know that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be changing and transforming, that's going to be uncomfortable for the collective, as well as with this gibbous waxing energy, things that are going to be heightened with foreign people and places and countries, okay, definitely, because the next energy we have is Aries, and Aries energy is all about low vibrational things in some aspect, but then on the other part of Aries energy, it could be a realm also that's about, you know, earth wisdom and so forth, right? What is it that will change that will be for the best? the energy that I'm seeing here is like Ansys is saying, yes, there's gonna be strife, traumas, disruptions, uncomfortable situations within this whole segment of what the Ansys is showing us. It's all about home life situations, your living conditions. It's a lot we're gonna see in reference of the judicial system and the justice system, the legal system. We're gonna also see some things um, that is going to come out that's going to show like punishment, right, for some people of their sins, and it's going to spin the block really quickly too, family. Okay, um, and this room right here tells us this is feminine energy. This is about the feminine energy being very powerful at this time as a spiritual being. Saturn's energy moves into this element as well, right? um, which is Virgo energy that's here. Also, ancestors say protect the nose, protect the nose. So there's something in reference of the nose that can also go back to some type of um, I don't know why I'm hearing like a biological breakout, because it's like cover the nose, the air, the nose, where that strife could come in. But ancestors just want you to know they have our back, right? Trust in the Most High, because there is some low vibrational things that are here. Goes back to the element of um, low, right? Of low vibrational things. Mars energy, okay? But not only that, Mercury. And Mercury is in, let me go back and look, because I think Mercury is in Cancer. And it goes direct. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a retrograde, right? Yeah, it's going to be a retrograde in Mercury. It's Cancer now, but let me tell you when the Mercury retrograde is going to kick in. Here it is. Okay, it kicks in July 18th. So we may see this energy that's building up in reference of this Mercury energy be something that is very uncomfortable for us, right? Because Cancer is in this thing, it's going to be in Cancer in 21 degrees. It's very violent, emotionally violent situations with the collective, okay? And I told you July was going to be very harsh energy for the collective. I told you this to go back to the warnings in the planetary alignment discussion that I put here on the channel. You can listen to that one over, and it talks about everything based off of the planetary movement, right? But this is ancestors giving it to us again. You have to be careful of accidents, okay? You guys, please, 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 with this gibbous waxing energy, it's increasing in reference of the accidents that we're going to see. A lot of accidents, a lot of emotional situations happening, okay? We're going to see a uproar of with this gibbous waxing energy. It's telling me also a lot in reference of overdoses, suicidal situations, and things like that with this energy of what I'm getting overall. Okay. The ancestors is showing me that this has to do with a lot of accidents, a lot of obstacles, a lot of senseless stuff happening, a lot of people panicking, anxiety, and excessive things that are happening amongst the collective. Okay. The energy that we're in is still in some energy of Taurus energy, and Taurus is in still in Uranus right now, but it's Uranus is moving into Gemini. Okay, but the energy right now in reference of Taurus is Venus. So Venus is in Taurus, but Venus is trine Pluto right now. So that energy is very strong because Pluto is in Capricorn, which takes us back to that energy of Phobos that I told you about, right? So it's about having strong values and morals right now, family. Healing thyself, work with thyself, have positive thoughts and affirmations over your life. Use your mind, use your intelligence, right? Use your discernment, because there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to happen in the month of July. They're going to seem, very uncomfortable and foreign to what you're used to, okay? But that's okay. Where there's change, there's growth. Okay. So that's how you have to look at things, because it is going to be a lot of uncomfortable, emotional. You may catch yourself doing a lot of crying because of the wounds that are going to be affected, but there's also a lot of new beginnings in here. Be very careful of drugs and alcohol right now because we're going to see a very, very increased um, energy around some people overdosing on drugs, and not just like street drugs, although we may see that too, right? But we're going to see it in reference of medications, right? A lot of things like that taken by mouth. But we're also going to see some interventions come in reference of earthly possessions in most personal cases. So you could see things like that happen as well. Okay. But the ancestors is definitely letting us know that there's definitely strife that's here, but there's definitely, we can lean on our 3 generations of ancestors at this time. That's what you should be working with. If things are uncomfortable for you, you should be working with that ancestral work. Okay, doing your work with your ancestors, putting in that time with your ancestors, setting your intentions right with your ancestors, you know feeding into your spirits in reference of always taking out, right? Feed into them, right? So that's the energy, that's the message for this gibbous waxing. I hope this resonated with you. I will be back soon for the full moon, true sidereal and verdict that will be in Sagittarius. Okay, it will be on July the 10th. So I'll be tapping back in very soon for your messages for that. All right, much love to you. Peace, family, and take it easy. Make sure to continue stay in meditation and prayer and keep your vibes high. Peace, peace, peace.